If you were to ask someone to draw a cube, they would most likely draw something like this. But this is actually wrong. What we really want is something that looks like this. A cube with edges that recede into the distance. The screen or sheet of paper in front of you may be flat and two-dimensional, but the space we exist in has 3 dimensions. This is why learning to think in perspective as you draw is so important. As you can see in this photo, these railroad tracks seem to disappear into the horizon. The point at which these lines converge is known as a vanishing point. You may notice that everything else in this photo also converges towards this point, including the grass and trees. The level at which the vanishing point sits in the frame is known as the horizon line. Because there's only one vanishing point in this photo, this is known as one-point perspective. Perspective can be in 1-point, 2-point, 3-point, 4-point, and even 5-point. But for the sake of this video, we'll just be focusing on 1 and 2. This photo is in 2-point perspective because there are 2 vanishing points sitting on the horizon. We'll have to zoom out in order to see where the second vanishing point is. A common mistake when drawing in 2-point perspective is placing the vanishing points too close together, which gives objects a warped appearance. In order to draw things correctly, your vanishing points should have a good amount of space between them. I should also note that there are lines in this photo that go straight up and down, and that don't apply to the vanishing point. These are known as parallel lines because they're parallel to one another and don't converge. Now that we've covered vanishing points, I'll be talking more about the horizon line. The horizon in an image can be thought of as the eye level. If the subject is above the horizon, the viewer will be looking up at it. If the subject is below the horizon, the viewer will be looking down at it. If the subject is above, or the horizon is lower in the frame, you'll be able to see the bottom plane of that subject. If the subject is below, or the horizon is higher up in the frame, you'll be able to see the top plane of that subject. If a subject overlaps with the horizon, then it's level with our field of vision, meaning you won't be able to see the top or bottom of it. I'll be touching on how to quickly find the horizon while drawing in my Part 2 video. Lastly, we'll talk briefly about ellipses. An ellipse being a fancy word for an oval. Ellipses are important because they're used to build cylinders, an important building block of structural drawing. If you were to draw a box in perspective, then draw an ellipse on the front and end planes and connect them together, you will have successfully drawn a cylinder in perspective. You can find the center of a plane by drawing an X from opposite corners. Drawing a line through the middle of this X will show the center of that plane. When drawing your ellipses, make sure they touch all 4 sides of these planes. This way, your cylinders won't end up looking squished or uneven. In order to get used to the concept of perspective, I recommend printing out a photo and tracing over it for yourself to locate the horizon and vanishing points. As for drawing exercises, draw a horizon line in the center of your page, then draw cubes of different sizes both above and below this horizon. Practice doing this in both 1- and 2-point perspective. For an added challenge, do the same thing but with cylinders. If you're able to do these exercises correctly, then you're well on your way to understanding perspective and one step closer to making more believable drawings. A book that I recommend for learning perspective is Perspective Made Easy by Ernest R. Norling, which I'll be linking down below. Happy drawing, and I'll see you in the next video.